Excelente, etcétera.
Thrill me.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Horror Flicks and Guitar Picks podcast. I'm your host, Tim, and today I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Steven. What's going on, man?
It's me, Steven. I don't know why I did that.
Hey, in honor of the brand new Super Mario Galaxy trailer that dropped this past week. No, I'm just,
What? I didn't even know that.
no. Well, obviously, we're a horror
Subconsciously.
podcast, so yeah, we're definitely checking out that stuff. But no, they dropped a trailer actually for the new Super Mario Brother Galaxy kids, like it's the sequel to the cartoon
Mhm.
movie that came out. And it looks cute. I'm definitely stoked for it. As a fan of Yoshi, I'm excited for it because Yoshi's a big
Oh,
part of the
damn.
story. So,
Yeah.
but today we're talking about, since we're a horror podcast, we're talking about our favorite needle drops in horror movies. But before we dive into that, do you have anything that you've been watching lately? And of course, it doesn't have to be horror related, but or music that you've been listening to lately.
Yes. Last night I went and saw Send Help.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was super fun. I refused to watch a trailer for it. I'm not usually like that crazy about it, but I saw enough of a teaser knowing that it was like a uh like survival, like, trapped on an island type scenario. Um, so I didn't know like how, and it's a Sam Raimi film. So I was like, I didn't know how like Sam Raimi-esque horror it gets. Um, and I was very pleasantly surprised. And I didn't want the trailer to give away anything. So
Yeah.
uh, when you see it, I think you'll enjoy it. So that's
Oh
all I'll
yeah.
say. That's all I'll say. I liked it. It was fun. Yeah.
That's really high up there for me on like the watch list, but literally the Saturday before it like came out, they were doing like an early showing, and that was the last time that they got snow in Virginia Beach, so they just shut down the
Mm.
theater. Oh, cat jumping on my table.
I just see a cat tail come across the screen like it's like a shark fin.
He just straight attacked my table, but no, but no. So I was gonna go to that early event for it and see it like
Mhm.
a couple of days early, but they shut down the theater that whole night. So I was like, well, I can't go now. So uh,
Bitches.
I ended up not going. That might have even been the time that it was a scare and nothing happened, so I didn't go.
Mhm.
I think that actually might have been what happened. Is it was supposed to snow, so I didn't go. Then nothing happened. Then the following weekend it did snow, and now the weekend that we're recording this is supposed to snow. So no, I haven't seen Send Help yet, but that's high up on my watch list. I haven't seen Primate yet. I still haven't seen 28 Years Later yet. So I'm like still really behind
Ooh.
on horror movies. I've seen a
Ah,
few things at home though, like I saw The Smashing Machine, which was finally
nice.
one I've been wanting to check out, so I was stoked to see that. I really enjoyed Fantastic Four: The First Steps. I finally watched Warfare, which I know you guys mentioned is one of your favorites. That was excellent.
Mm,
I was excited to finally check that one
yeah.
out. But and then I watched Death of a Unicorn too, which was good, but I definitely could understand why people were kind of meh on it. It like overall the movie's probably like a 6 out of 10 if I had to give it like a quick rating.
Yeah.
But like I enjoyed watching it, but there's a lot of problems with it, and I don't know if I'd ever care to watch it again. So I definitely wouldn't like
Yeah.
rush to recommend it
That's
either.
how I felt with that movie too. Like if I was going out, like go get Mexican food, have a margarita, then go see that movie with some friends afterwards, like I'd have a great night. Uh, do I care to watch it again? Not really. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was fun. So
Yeah. Now, I probably would have enjoyed it even more if I like saw it in theaters and stuff like that. But
mhm.
watching it at home, it wasn't bad, but wasn't great. Especially after watching Warfare, I think I had a little bit more fun with it, just because Warfare is so like not fun.
Yeah.
Great movie, but just definitely on like the more like intense side. So,
Dude,
uh,
I know a guy that did like triage type stuff in Iraq, and after I was talking to him about like what he did for work while he was a soldier and stuff, and instantly thought of that movie Warfare, and like the amount of moments where like we just got to get you at one point to the next and we're gonna like staple you up, and I'm like, holy shit, yeah, this dude saw some things. So
yeah.
yeah, that movie's crazy. But I loved it. I mean, it's just such a brutal, honest, like recap of how bad war is. So yeah, it's gnarly. So
Yeah. No, it's like pretty much that like one bad day aspect, but like
mm,
in the real life war, you know what I mean? So no, and that
totally.
movie was one that I definitely could see where like people could have put it in their horror list last year just because of
Oh
how
yeah.
like crazy and horrifying it is, you know what I mean? Especially like
Mm,
the way that they're sitting there just in pain the whole time and stuff, and like they do a really good job with that film. I'm glad that Alex Garland met I can't remember the guy's full name. I think it's like something Mendoza, but
Yeah, I forget his name too.
I'm glad that they met and like got to make this film and stuff, especially with Alex Garland talking about retiring from directing before he even went
Hmm.
on to co-direct this with him. So, but
Yeah.
hell yeah,
Heck
that was a
yeah.
perfect partnership for it for sure.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
hell yeah, we can dive into needle drops unless you got any music or anything you want to shout out first, or
Mm, there's another new Final Gasp song that came out. That's good. But other than that, let's see what else. Um, Man, I don't really think there's like too much new that I've been listening to.
yeah,
Been mostly the same old. But yeah, I'm down to drop in.
we can dive into the needle drops. I got a ton, so I have to like kind of lock in which ones I'm gonna go with out of the ones that I wrote down because I only want to
Okay,
actually highlight five, and then I'll just shout out all of them at the end. Um, but I'll go first because this was my choice,
sure.
just because. And this was only my choice because I wanted to do something that mixed the music and movies.
Hmm.
And I've been kind of wanting to do a topic anyways that was like a top five or just, and this isn't my top five. These are just five favorites.
Sure.
Um, a lot of times when we do these top episodes, unless we clearly say top five, then these are literally just like a list of like favorites of ours and stuff like that. So, or at least, in my list and stuff. So, uh,
Okay.
the first one I'm going with here.
Do you want to describe what a needle drop is to people that maybe don't know?
Yes, that's a good idea. I'm glad you said that because that was on my mind, but I definitely forgot to do it. So, no, that's a.
It's where you start stabbing yourself with needles in the. No, I don't know.
It's specifically in Saw 2, where how many times does that girl put her hands in the needle? No,
Oh
just
yeah. It's
uh,
kind of like sounding. Do you know what sounding is?
but no,
Don't
so
look that up. Do not Google that if
yeah,
anybody's listening.
she got her episode flagged. But I so for anybody that doesn't know, a needle drop is a part in a movie where a song starts or music plays and it pretty much just relates to the like instead of like it being a score, it's an actual song playing, in that part of the movie. So for instance, one that I was gonna shout out as like a honorable mention because it's one of the biggest ones known in movies, or at least in horror movies, is Don't Stop Me Now by Queen and Shaun of the Dead. That'd be
Mhm.
like a good just example, like when they're playing when that comes on and they're fighting the guy in the Winchester with the pull sticks and all that stuff, and Don't Stop Me Now plays. That's like a perfect example of a needle drop. And needle drops could also be the song that plays right as the film ends. So if there's one that very
Mhm.
like sticks out that you're like, oh man, that's such a perfect like ending song for the movie, that also works as a needle drop as well. So
Yeah. Heck yeah. Well, thanks for the education, Tim. Surely appreciate it.
hell yeah. Well, Professor Tim will now kick into his first Professor Trashmouth, but no, I'll kick into my first needle drop. I'm gonna go with Betty Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes in the film The Final Girls. So
Ooh,
I don't know if you've
okay.
seen The Final Girls, but
Hmm.
for those that don't know, The Final Girls is about a teenage girl whose mom passes away in a car accident, and she was a 80s like scream queen actress, like kind of along the
Hmm.
lines of like a Linnea Quigley type person, or Brink Stevens. And so she gets invited by like a horror fan to a late night showing of one of her mom's films, and during the showing a fire breaks out and she gets sucked into the film with a group of her friends, and they have to like spend the time trying to figure out how to get out of the film and whatnot. And of course, because of that, she's in a film with her mom. That's not really her mom; it's a character and all this. So super fun
Hmm.
film. And there's like an emotional moment at the end of the film where Betty Davis Eyes comes back from the beginning, where you get a scene between her and her mom, where it's shown that this is obviously a song that's important to both of them. And it
Hmm.
comes back in the end of the movie, and the needle drop is just perfect for me because it's like a very good emotional moment followed by a needle drop. So they have like a nice talk and like stuff happens, and I won't go into two spoilers, but when the needle drop actually happens, it definitely pulls at your heartstrings, and it's one of the few horror movies that like it. It's not like Train to Busan where I cry every time I watch it because Train to Busan is just pretty fucking sad, but it is
Yeah.
definitely one that like can bring a tear to your eye if you're in the right mood and stuff like that. It's a very good use of the song as well, and I also grew up loving that song because like a lot of like my mom loves it, my aunts
Mm,
love it, so it was a big song for me growing up. So for it to be used so well in the film, uh, just makes it stick out even more. So
sure. Nice. That's a good one. Uh, Heck yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I had a harder time with this than I think you did. Um, Mainly because I mean, as much as I can like remember scenes and even like quotes and whatnot in films, and I even remember music, but there's just a lot of times I'm a terrible like when it comes to lyrics, like I don't really read lyrics to songs, like,
Yeah.
and I feel like vocalists probably hate me for saying that. And I love the vocals and music. I just don't pay attention to what people are saying. Like to me, it's just like another instrument, versus like their actual words that mean things.
Yeah.
Again, sorry, vocalists. But yeah, when it comes to like songs, I'm so used to, like I can point out like scores so much more than I can point out like a song that was used. Kind
Yeah.
of in the same way of like some of my favorite albums. And I'm like, oh yeah, there's, track 3. And I'm like, I put like hundreds and hours into this album and I couldn't tell you what song title is track 3. So I think for whatever reason I struggled with like, oh yeah, like what was that moment? So, but anyways, one of mine that I'm going to put in here is one of my favorites is from the movie Night of the Demons.
Oh yeah.
And it's when Angela is starting her seance and Bauhaus Stigmata Martyr starts playing. And the guys that are invited to the party are all like, like what? When did she get hot? And she's like, they're all in a trance. And it's such a cool, like, punk as shit, goth scene. That's just like perfect for that movie. And the song is perfect for that scene. It makes that song. I mean, I like Bauhaus fine. Uh, it's not really a band that I like to go listen to by itself, but I love it during Halloween and in the right setting and in that movie and in that scene in particular, it's awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my first pick.
Hell yeah. No, that was on my short, like not my short list, but like because my it's out on my actual long list. My short list is the five that I'm gonna say. But I only think I was gonna leave it for the honorable mentions because I was hoping that you would say it because I know that you love that film as well as
Woo.
me. So no, I love that part. I'm right there with you. It's one of those things that film has so many scenes that suck you in and are
Oh yeah,
crazy practical effects and this and that, and somehow a 4-minute dance scene to Bauhaus just like is just as intriguing as like her pushing freaking
sure.
lipstick in her tit or
Yeah.
them turning into full-on demons and ripping faces off and all this other stuff. So no, I'm right there with you. I absolutely love this
Uh,
scene and it makes me uh like every time it also like is another part of the movie that epitomizes Halloween, and I absolutely
mhm.
love that because I watch this movie like it feels very Halloween party-ish at that moment, and I
Yes.
watch this movie like every October for sure. So
Yeah, and that's the type of movie too that like it's such a like trashy 80s kind of low budget type horror film that like you wouldn't expect like a needle drop moment. You just expect like cheesy 80s like soundtrack music. And so
yeah.
for or scores, you know what I mean? Like synthesizers and lots of like shrieks and that kind of stuff and so like yeah, it's a nice moment in the film for sure.
Yeah, and usually when you're watching all those like 80s movies, it's like a song that sounds like it's like in
Hmm.
uh as influenced by or whatever. Like for instance, uh Slumber Party Massacre 2. I love that movie, but there's so many all the songs in it are like original songs, you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's like and I know that they're supposed to be like bands and they're like more diegetic and stuff, but even then it's like it's probably because they couldn't afford rights to just have them
Oh,
play,
totally. Yeah.
the Bangles or something like that, so no, it's that's an awesome pick for sure. I definitely love this one. But
Sick.
hell yeah. My
Okay,
second
okay.
one is kind of a cheat because it's technically two songs in one movie.
Okay.
But however, both of these songs like I literally like because of this movie and have never heard until I watched this film and then somehow they literally play at my work. Like both of these songs play at my work now. And I'm like, I didn't know these were even hits back in the 80s. So it just blows my mind. But these are both the songs are One Thing Leads to Another by The Fix and the breakup song by the Greg Kihn Band, both in House of the Devil.
Hmm.
And One Thing Leads to Another by The Fix plays when she's just dancing around the house with like her Walkman in
Hmm.
and stuff. And
Yep.
it's such a good scene because it's like it shows like her like it's like one of those like last moments of enjoying life before
Hmm.
like shit goes bad, which I always like those in movies, especially when they play out in like a realistic way and with
Sure.
such a fun song. Like I said, I fell in love with this song. And then Greg Kinbane is the one that I think they're just listening to in the car. Like it might even be when it just shows Greta Gerwig by herself driving, but
Hmm.
you hear that song for a minute and stuff like earlier on. And
Hmm.
definitely those songs being used, like that's the type of stuff I like in 80s, like stuff that's flashing back to the 80s when they use
Yeah.
songs like that because it's not so like it's not Don't Fear the Reaper again. It's not,
Sure.
you know, I think we're alone now again and shit like it's not the same songs you hear beaten to everything that's trying to feel like the 80s. It's literally like these songs that I've never heard in any other, like I've never heard in any other media, you know what I mean, other
Hmm.
than just like them being songs. So no, I really enjoy both of these songs. And House of the Devil is still my favorite Ty West movie and very high up there on just my favorites list in general. So
Yeah, that one's so good. And it has such a good atmosphere to it and everything. Um, nice. That's a good one. Yeah, it was harder for me to think of like more modern films too, that had specific moments because yeah, I feel like all of my favorite modern films, mostly it's like I said, the scores that stick out in my head. But I'll kind of continue on the same theme of another film that has a needle drop moment that is similar in that like Night of the Demons being like a, B 80s kind of slasher cheese film. Um, where that wouldn't normally have a moment like this. I'm gonna, since it's still January and stick with Giallo January, I'm gonna use Phenomena as or Phenomena, however you want to say it, um, as mine, and it's Iron Maiden Flash of the Blade. Um,
fuck yeah.
and it's in the Jennifer Connelly like dream sequence scene where the she sees the vision of the girl running from, uh the killer, and she's like running through the girls uh what do you call that thing where they all stay, the school or
Yeah.
whatever.
The dorms or whatever.
The
Yeah.
dormitory, the all girl school or whatever it is. um yeah, and it's just like to use like Iron Maiden, like that kind of like thrash metal kind of like song and like a giallo is such a like change of pace when, most of that, especially Argento, it's like you're used to it just being Goblin,
Yeah.
and like more atmospheric and scory, and then it just kicks off and it's like hell yeah, the song fits so good with what's happening in that scene. She's running through this. I mean, it feels like an 80s like uh it feels like an 80s music video for a metal song, a young girl in distress in like a flowy gown, and this person's chasing her, and then she gets classically stabbed like crazy in a like typical Argento fashion. But yeah, Flash the Blade is a sick one
Fuck yeah.
for that. So
No, I even thought about trying to like specifically seek out like a good, like heavy metal needle drop on one of the Italian ones because I know that there's some like Demons has some great ones. There's some
mhm.
also some good ones in like the one we just watched, Opera. There was some
Yeah.
decent ones in that. So I thought about like looking through and finding some of those, but then I was like, I've already got a decent list. I will say though that
Mhm.
mine is kind of lacking in the classic ones.
Mm.
Um, I'll probably say like the few classic ones I have, I feel like are kind of very obvious. So I'm gonna probably leave those until the end for like, until the end when I do honorable mentions. That way, if there are any that you shout out, and then also, especially since you said that you don't have as many modern ones, and then
Sure.
there's also a few that like I don't want to mention exactly now, just in case they're on your list, but like certain ones that were made for movies that still
Mm.
have a needle drop within the film. Um, but I like for some reason I just didn't think about those for my list because I couldn't like remember exactly where the needle drops were in the film.
I
So
got you.
and I'm like I feel like that kind of ruins the needle. Like I love these songs. Like for instance, Man Behind the Mask. I don't even remember if that plays in part six of Friday the
Uh,
13th. But
yeah.
if it does, it's not in a memorable enough scene that I'm like, oh, dude, that's right where that song plays. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
just love it, and the like, as soon as like I could just hear it on its own in the credits. And same thing with some of the Nightmare songs, without pointing those out in case they're on your list. Uh, but no, so mine doesn't have too many old ones. But so what I'm gonna do is try to stay with since I don't have so many old school ones, I'm gonna go with a hidden gem.
Mm.
And this one, I guess I don't know if you count it as a needle drop if somebody's kind of performing it in the movie, but they
Oh,
perform the whole fucking song. So this one for me is from a little hidden gem movie called After Midnight. Have you seen this?
Wait, After Midnight.
It's got Henry Zabrowski in it as like a side character.
Yeah, dude, I remember that. I did watch it. That's the one where he's like they're staying at that house, right? Isn't that the one? And they're like they're walking around the grounds and stuff like that. Shoot, what is that one?
That's the one where him and his girlfriend break up, and ever since she's like left, he starts to claim that like a monster is coming to his house every night.
Yeah. And he's watching the house and he's like guarding it and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then
Yep.
at the end of the movie, I'm not going to spoil what happens like exactly around everything because I feel like everybody should watch this movie. I really enjoyed it, and
Mhm.
it's a fun movie and very unique. It's a more slow burn horror movie and stuff, and not very scary. So if you're not into those types of movies, definitely don't watch it. But it's a fun little indie flick for sure. But at the end of the movie, he sings Lisa Loeb's "Stay," and he sings the entire song pretty much like to a dinner party full of people, and
Uh,
it's like it just took me completely by surprise, and I love it in this movie, like just randomly. And everybody loves "Stay," you know what I mean? As soon as they
mhm.
hear the "You say I
Mhm.
hear what I want to," like everybody loves that song. So that's
I
like
forgot about that.
I just love like I love in movies when you don't expect a song at all. Like this
Uh-huh.
is such a like kind of dark and moody movie, and then all of a sudden he just fucking breaks out a karaoke machine and starts singing "Stay" to like a crowd full of people because he's like trying to win her back and stuff. So no, I love this scene and I just love this movie. And I love, like I said, exactly when, like, after watching this movie, now every single time I hear "Stay," I think of this movie because of it. So,
See, that was the part of this episode that I was preparing for that I had the hardest time because I was like, I know there's so many good, like, ironic, awkward needle drops that
yeah,
like make a scene so much more like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they used this song. But I couldn't think of it in a way, I was like trying to research and stuff like that, and it just some of the ones I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that was there, and I was like, this feels less significant for me to bring up if it's like something I can't even remember.
yeah.
So so I don't have any fun ones like that, unfortunately. So yeah.
No, that's why, like I said, I didn't put certain ones in here, like Dream Warriors. I love that song, but I didn't put it in because of the fact that it's not
Mhm.
memorable in the film to me. Like I
Sure.
remember the movie to the song, but like when I think of the song, I think of it in the credits. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't really play during a
Totally.
big like cool ass kill scene. I mean, I can't remember if it plays during the climax, but even then, it's like I'm like so into the film, it like the song does not come through like it does in other movies and stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to avoid songs that were felt like the title track for the movie itself, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And more just yeah, but anyways.
oh yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's a
You
good one.
go ahead with your third one.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and okay, so I'll pick one that is a needle drop, or at least it's a needle drop in my opinion, but because it's like a post-rock song, it kind of really plays out almost like it would be a score within the film. And I'm gonna go with 28 Days Later.
Oh yeah,
And that's the most modern one that I have, and that's Godspeed You Black Emperor, and their song East Hastings. Um, and I remember the first time I saw that, and like it was a time in high school where I was like getting into more post-rock bands like Godspeed or like Explosions in the Sky and stuff like that, Pelican. Um, and I remember when this song came on, I was like, no freaking way. And it's perfect for this movie because it's like, the song kicks in right when Jim is like, uh, out in the streets of London and like nobody is around and he's like being like, hello, and just like it's so like creepy and like empty, and it's just like, the song starts, it's got the, just like really somber guitar, and it's just like building, you can feel his anxiety in the way that all the scenes are cut, and he's getting more anxious because he can't find anybody in a giant city. And
yeah.
then it swells and swells and swells until he gets to the wall that has like all the missing people and notes and everything, and it's such a cool, perfect use of song and imagery. Yeah, it's an awesome moment for that film, and one of the reasons why that movie is like so great to me. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
that so yeah, that's mine.
That's a great choice. And this might be a bold statement, but in my opinion, that might be some of the best use of like music that already exists since like The Exorcist. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
like Tubular Bells was a pre-existing thing, and that now is,
Sure.
you know, people immediately attach it to The Exorcist. And I kind of feel the same way with that Godspeed song. It sounds like it was a score written for the movie,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
but like fans of the band already knew it ahead of time and stuff like that. So I feel like it's one of the best. And I know if I'm not mistaken, I think 2001: A Space Odyssey also has some music that's obviously like pre-written. It was like
Hmm.
orchestral stuff that was done before the movie. So there's like ones back in the day that were doing it, but it's like since those classic ones, this is like the first one that I could really think of that has used it in a while, that used a pre-existing song and pretty much made it the score, like a famous score. So
Yeah. And it might be one of the only like horror films that's used I, I mean, I love music. But it's probably and I like pretty decent amount of all forms of music. I'm not as versed in a lot of like rap music. I like some old school stuff and I hate country music, so I'm never gonna pick up on that in any films unless it's like old like Hank Williams, like that's cool, cowboy
yeah,
music, whatever. Um, but yeah, this movie that was probably like one of the first songs other than like seeing films in middle school that uses like new metal. Like I feel like that was like every like early 2000s film. It's like, like, oh, there's that Godsmack song, or
yeah,
something like that. And but this was like the first song in a horror film that was like felt like part of my personal collection of music that I identified with. And I was just like, oh man, yeah, hell yeah. Like I love this,
yeah.
so that just made it even cooler for me for sure. So
Oh yeah. No, that's a good ass pick, for sure. And I know exactly what you mean when like I remember the first time I was watching American Idol and somebody randomly did a Smash Into Pieces by Silverstein, and I was like, let's go, dude. Like
yeah,
this is
yeah,
my shit in public places.
sure.
Nah, I was stoked. But nah, I for my next one, I'm gonna go with probably one of the only like classic ones I actually have. And by classic, I mean like the '80s and stuff, and that's "Rockin' Till You Drop" by Michael Sembello from the Monster Squad. During the montage scene when it plays "Rockin' Till You Drop," I just love
Oh,
that whole
nice.
like that whole I love montage scenes already,
Sure.
and so I just love the fact that like this one's so fun and like fitting for like
Mhm.
they're getting ready to go fight the monsters and they're getting all their stuff together, and it just comes at such a perfect time and it's such a fun scene. So no, I had to throw in a classic one that like kind of felt more like a soundtrack thing, but
Mhm.
again, the song immediately, like as soon as I think about the Monster Squad, I think about the Monster Squad rap, and then this song immediately followed by it. So no, I love
Sure.
Rockin' Till You Drop.
Nice. That's a good one. I dig that for sure. Well, let me get one out of the way, I suppose, that I would guess is on your honorable mention list and potentially maybe is on your list. But I'm gonna have to go with Return of the Living Dead, 45 Grave, Party Time. I
Oh yeah,
mean, talk about, I love punk rock, and I love 80s punk and post-punk and all that kind of stuff. So, uh, for this film to have like such a iconic punk band like 45 Grave, and then it's so perfect for the style of this movie,
yeah,
and the way it kicks off with the boombox and everything and the skeleton popping up and then, like, so you want a part, like everybody loves that song in this movie. I think anytime I talk to anybody about Return of the Living Dead, it's like they quote that more than lines in the film itself. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So, yeah, it's just, I got the pillow behind me. Yeah, it's just a perfect song for a perfect party scene in a graveyard with a bunch of delinquent punk rockers from the 80s. I don't know what else better they could have picked. So,
yeah. Hell yeah. I think I was with you when you got that pillow at Scares the Cares, and the guy literally sang that to you. Like when you said I want that towel, he was or that pillow, he was like, "Do you want a party?"
and I'm just trying to hand him
Yeah.
my money, and I'm like, "Can you?" And he has to sing the whole song.
He's like,
He's so funny.
you're
I'm like, just take my money.
like,
Yeah,
I just want to pay.
I even got my. It's sideways. It's hard to show. It's
Hell yeah.
upside down. It's upside down. Oh my God! I got a little tombstone, and it says "Party Time" on it.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
So I had to throw that one in there. So
No, that one was specifically on my honorable mentions just because I figured it was on your list because I know it's like one of your favorites as well. But
Mhm.
no, if we were even doing just like favorite horror soundtracks of all time, and I'm talking about like actual top five, this would definitely
Mhm.
be in there for me as well. Like this song, you got TSOL, The Cramps,
Yep.
and even the Surfing Dead by The Cramps. Like that needle drop is another one that really sticks out to me in the film. But
Yeah, I remembered it being in that, and Lazy Me was like, I can't remember what scene the Surfing Dead comes in. But then also I just was like, but Party Time trumps that. I mean, just as far as a scene goes. But yeah,
yeah,
what scene has the Surfing Dead? Because I forgot that was I remembered that it was in there. I just couldn't remember exactly what moment it was.
I thought it was when they were arriving, but I might be wrong. Let me.
Is it like when they pull up in the car kind of thing?
That's what I was thinking, but I might be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't remember. And then I also just couldn't remember like because so that's the other thing that my brain does a bad job of blending in like either trailers that I remember of the film and so like that maybe uses a song from the film but the trailer uses a song in a different way than what I remember it happening in the movie. So um just gets me all confused.
Yeah, it's not coming up. The only thing that's coming up right now is I mean, it's coming up that it's in the movie, of course, but not
Yeah.
exactly where it's used in the movie. But no,
Yeah,
I
that
could.
was that was a number one reason why I didn't throw this one in there because I was like, I can't remember the exact moment. So it's not I can't say it, talk about it. So
Yeah, no, same
but yeah.
here. It's one of those that like uh I remember hearing it in the film every time, but I'm with you. I can never remember exactly where it is. I feel like it's early on when they're hanging out and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, but no, hell yeah, this whole soundtrack just great and definitely a
So
good
good.
pick for sure. But oh yeah, my fifth and final pick. Of course, I got like I said bunch of honorable mentions, and then we're gonna do something a little fun at the end where we pick our own things, which we'll talk about when we get there. But
Mhm.
my fifth and final one, a little bit more. I'm gonna go with this one only because of how much of a joke it is in the film,
Okay.
uh, and that is "Ants Marching" by Dave Matthews Band in the film Mayhem. Uh,
I don't remember this.
What's funny is there's actually a better needle drop in the film as far as how it's used with the song
Mhm.
"Motherfucker" by Faith No More, and I love Faith No
Ah,
More. They're like one of my like I'm one of the few people that listens to like a lot of Faith No More outside of well, I mean not few people, but like a
sure.
few people I know. Everybody else just kind of knows like Epic, you know. But like I'm like I listen to a lot of Faith No More, and so "Motherfucker" is awesome, and it's a cool part where he uses it because it's like literally he puts on his iPod, he's like track three, hands her the iPod, and she like puts it on, and then they like it's like a big ass fight scene.
Mhm.
And
I do remember that.
that part's really cool. But the funny thing about Ants Marching is that throughout the film, there's like a scene where they talk about bands that they enjoy. Well, before I get to there, I want to mention what Mayhem is about for anybody listening that doesn't know. The film Mayhem is directed by Joe Lynch, and pretty much it's about this guy played by Stephen Young who works at a big firm, and they're pretty much about to blame him for a really big fuck up that could cause him to not only lose his job, but never be able to work again, and also face legal trouble. And at the
Mhm.
same exact time, there's a woman there played by Samara Weaving who is just trying to like save her house. And at the very same time as all that, the building gets quarantined and shut down because of a virus that's making people pretty much go crazy, similar to like the crazies, where it's like
Mhm.
they're not becoming zombies, but they're losing all ability to control themselves. And so they try to fight their way to the top and like take care of the people that are doing these things to them, and that's what the movie's about. And as they're doing it and like working together, there's a scene where they mention Dave Matthews Band, and she's like, "Fucking Dave Matthews Band sucks." And then pretty much later on, when that scene comes up with Motherfucker, and she
Mhm.
hands them the he hands her the iPod. He's like, track three. She's like, it better not be Dave Matthews Band. So then finally, like later
Mhm.
on, after they uh, after like a scene between the two, it like right before they go up to like face the, like the last few like kind of big bads of the film,
Mhm.
Ants Marching just plays randomly, and I was like, hell
Mhm.
yeah! And I think if I'm not mistaken, Joe Lynch literally like tweeted at him or something and he listened to it and checked or watched it or he did something, checked it out and, gave them the rights to use the song because, it's not like he's in a ton of, like his stuff's easy to use. So
That's so funny. Why hasn't Headstrong been used as a mic drop or a needle drop moment
I
in a
think it
horror
has,
film?
but I can't remember.
Has it?
I don't know if it was in a horror film, but I feel like it was definitely used in like Daredevil or some shit. Like,
Yeah, it has to have, but it probably wasn't used ironically. It was
yeah,
probably used like yeah.
right.
So,
Now, some of my
but
honorable mentions are definitely like more ironic ones too, but
mm.
no, yeah. What's your fifth and final one? Like I said, my some of my I had so many that like I had to like really pick some of even some of my honorable mentions I'll say them when I get there, but they're like favorites
Mm.
of all time too. I just we'd be here all day if I went through all of them. But
Oh, totally. So my fifth and final, by no order of importance, is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
fuck yeah,
And just because I
got
was
one.
getting all excited, yep, because I was getting all excited about a lot of like 80s punk rock and stuff like that. You got my boy Danny Elfman in the Oingo Boingo with No One Lives Forever when they're, racing across the bridge in that scene. Uh, just a cool ass scene from that film. So yeah,
Oh
but
yeah.
but yeah, that's mine.
And that's another like just good all around soundtrack. Like you said, you got
Yeah, oh
Oingo
yeah.
Boingo. I think that's got the Cramps as well and stuff. So no, but that's definitely
Yep.
the one that sticks out is that Needle Drop. That was on my honorable mentions as well. So
I think there's a Cure song in that soundtrack too as well. In the film, I'm trying to remember.
yeah.
I thought there was. But yeah, I definitely had some honorable mentions too. Like I took it off because it bummed me out that it wasn't the Smiths, but I was like, oh yeah, The Craft, like they play that one Smith song, but it's a cover, and I was
Yeah.
just like, it's a cover, it's not the band I like. So it's like I don't want to mention it anymore. But what's some of the other honorable mentions that you maybe had?
I had um so of course like I had Don't Stop Me Now by Shaun of the from Shaun of the
Mhm.
Dead by Queen, which I mentioned at the
Sure,
top. That was kind of the one that like sparked this as well. And Shaun of the Dead is one of my favorite films of all time, not
totally.
even like genre aside. I just I even got the
Mhm.
book right there by Clark Collis. You've Got Red on You. It's like pretty much the entire
Mhm.
biography of the film. But no, so I love Shaun of the Dead, so that's up there high. Another one I had is Freebird by Leonard Skinner at the end of
I thought
Devil's
you were gonna
Rejects.
do that one for sure.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't is because it's so known, you know what I mean? I figured
Yeah,
it was like it's like an obvious one, but I feel like that is just one of the best like ending songs. I love
it is
I,
good.
it's like such a good song and then like the way that it picks up when it needs to and they use the whole fucking song.
Almost
No,
as good as Freebird and Happy Gilmore.
right? Uh and then another Rob Zombie one that was dope. The movie kind of sucked, but in Three from Hell when he uses In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida by Iron Butterfly,
Oh yeah.
that whole scene is badass in my opinion. It's just like in a bad film, but
Yeah.
no, and I love the use of the song. And again, it's a long ass cool song that's used all the way through. But I have some more. But do you have any that you want to shout out before I just go through all mine? Or
The only one that I could really think of, like, I wanted to have one that at least had a credit song that I thought was rad, and I wouldn't be surprised if you have this one as well. Um, but it doesn't. I guess I get that that's technically a needle drop moment, but it's hard. It was harder for me to be like find significance in that because I mean, I'll be honest, like I sit through credits mostly nowadays because I want to know if there's going to be anything else or I'm just chatting with my friends at the theater, like, oh, that was rad. Um, but like, yeah, the song is that they have play first is usually not like that important to me, even though I like it. I just might not acknowledge it. But American Werewolf in London has
wait,
an epic song ending, credit rolling needle drop moment with Creedence Clearwater, Bad Moon Rising. I mean, that's such a perfect song to play in that film, you
yeah,
know. So yeah, that was my other honorable mention. So
no, fuck yeah, no, I'm a big CCR John Fogerty fan, so
oh yeah.
that's up there for me. Yeah,
We
I
live in
didn't
the South, brother. You have to like CCR.
right. No, I didn't put anything that was like movie ending needle drops, but there's
Mhm.
definitely plenty of good ones. That could be
So
like a whole
many.
nother like episode we do where it's just,
Mhm.
title credit songs or whatever. But no, I did have some other
That
like
just
very
made me think of the most pretentious uh episode I could suggest as a graphic designer and be like, what film credit rolls had the coolest fonts that nobody would ever listen to the episode because you can't talk about the way a font looks and it be interesting on a podcast. It would be the worst episode ever.
the research would suck. And just go watch a bunch of credits of movies.
Watch more, watch more.
But now my last honorable mentions are a lot of uh like obvious ones. Red Right Hand by Nick Cave and the Bad
Mhm.
Seeds through the entire Scream franchise. They use it in like
Yeah.
all the films. Um Hip to Be Square, Huey Lewis in the News
I
by,
almost
I
had
mean,
that one too.
in American Psycho, Antisocial by Anthrax in the It film, It Chapter One,
Oh
um,
yeah,
when they start like throwing rocks at the bullies and stuff. Of course,
forgot
Anthrax is one
about
of my
that.
favorite bands. It's in a mood. I already did a, that was one that I almost said because Anthrax is so high up there for me and
Mhm.
like just bands I love. The only reason I didn't shout it out is because I already said so many modern movies and It is
Mhm.
kind of like the modern It is kind of whatever for me. I like it, but I prefer the old one. Um, In
Mhm.
Dreams by Roy Orbison and Blue, that's from Blue Velvet. Um,
Oh yeah.
it's literally, this is probably just one of my favorite needle drops of all time period, but Blue Velvet is one of those films that's hard for me to call a horror film, even
Mhm.
though what else? It's one of those films that it's like I wouldn't call it a horror film, but like what else do you call it other than maybe like a surreal drama? I don't know. Surreal crime thriller or something like that. But so
Yeah.
it's just hard for me to lump that one in with the horror. Another ironic one that was fun and very recent was Baby I'm Amazed by You from Lone Star from the movie Hard Eyes. That was super fun.
Mhm.
Of course, another one that if you grew up in the South in the 90s, you've heard the fuck out of that song. Keep a Knockin' by Little Richard from Christine. That was another one that I really enjoyed.
Oh yeah.
Hold Tight by Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mitch, and Titch from Death Proof. It's the song that
Oh,
plays
okay.
when the girls are like driving and then like
Yep.
he kills them in the beginning. I Got Five on It by Lunas and Fuck the Police by NWA. Let me say that
Mhm.
again because that sounded so white. I got five on it by Lunas and fuck the police. I said fuck the police by NWA from Us. Nah, I just love that movie. It's a fun one, and so both of the songs are
Yeah.
used fun. And then
They were done in a very good way. Yeah.
that was pretty much it. I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff
Mhm.
that I really enjoyed, and I like wanted to rack my brain for more, but I was thinking
Yeah.
I was like we might do this again in the future.
Sure.
But I was like, I once my list hit a certain amount, I was like, at this point, even if I remembered
Mhm.
some, I'd be like. I don't need that to add that
Yeah.
because like Clown Cafe is a fun one, but that's a song written for
Mhm.
the movie. So stuff like that also I kind of like.
Sure.
That was another thing is like anything that was felt written for the movie just felt a little different to me than actual songs being like needle drops, you know what I mean? So
Oh, I did almost mention King Crimson for Mandy.
oh yeah.
Um, but I don't really like, I'm not a huge, I don't really listen to them all that much. I know about them more so of like, oh yeah, it's like stoner metal, like that kind of stuff. But that song is another perfect use of a song that feels like it was made for a film, and so that was a good one for sure. But
Oh yeah.
yeah,
No,
well,
no. But of course, at the end, we decided we were going to do a little fun game where we're going to come up with, we're going to pick a couple scenes from horror films and try to, come
Mhm.
up with our own needle drops. Do you have your first scene, or do you want me to go first, or?
Yeah. Okay. So how do we want to do it? To just say the scene and then we each get like uh 10 seconds or whatever to like pick the song that first comes to mind kind of thing. That's how this works, right?
Yeah, I mean, we don't got to give a limit on it. I can edit it to make it sound like 10 seconds. No, I'm just kidding. But now
Okay.
I'll make it so where if either of us need a second to actually think of one, take your time because I'll edit it
Sure.
a little bit.
Okay. Well, I got a good one for you, and I think it's gonna be fun. Uh I'm going to take you back to the 70s, and we're talking Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it is the dinner scene
Hell yeah.
when Grandpa is trying to swing a hammer, and that movie is so chaotic and just like all over the place in that moment. So, what is your needle drop song for Grandma trying to smack her?
Well, I do want to ask this.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Do you want to keep it like the song had to exist when the movie came out, or can it be like any song from any time?
No, it could be anything. So take all the era specifics
Okay.
of these films, and you get to re-release it with the song in this moment. This is your remastering of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with a needle drop
Okay, and that becomes
in
super
that scene.
easy,
Okay.
because I would definitely gonna do Hammer Smash Face by Cannibal Corpse. Uh,
Yes.
Not only because of the song title, but because, like you said, it's so chaotic and everything in that scene
Uh,
already. I feel like if you add that chaotic music, it's just gonna add to it, and like it fits perfectly with the editing from cutting to the hammer to the face to her face to the hitchhiker to Leatherface. Like it's literally cutting all around, and I just feel like that kind of upbeat like death metal shit would be like perfect for it. So,
I like it.
but hell yeah, what about you? What would be your pick for that one?
Oh, I gotta pick a song for it. I
Oh,
thought we were
we're
just
just picking
already
each other's. Oh no, that's
yeah.
fine. Yeah, that worked.
I'm not ready for that one.
I did pick a song for all of mine, but I'll wait and say them after you pick. That way, if you pick the same song, it doesn't ruin it. But uh,
Okay, okay.
what's funny is my first one, coincidentally, you mentioned Mandy, is the Chainsaw, and you mentioned Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's the chainsaw fight
Ah,
in
dang.
Mandy, was what I was thinking, because you got
Ooh,
big chainsaw versus
ooh.
little chainsaw. And it's kind of a slow, brutal fight.
It is a slow, brutal fight, but yeah, what would I pick for that? Um, this is so much harder now when I'm on the spot. Um, Chainsaw. I wanted to have something quicker and funnier for this moment, but I'm gonna go with my brain literally is just like, what is a song?
Yeah.
Who are bands? Um, I want to pick this song, but I just feel like it's already used in another movie as a pretty epic needle drop, but whatever, I don't care. I'm going with uh From Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica.
Fuck yeah.
Um I feel like that would be a sick one, just like, because they both kind of come out, and it's like like that would be an epic fight song. I mean, it's in Zombieland in the intro, which is fun, but this would be cooler. I don't know. That would be my pick for that. So
Fuck
there
yeah.
we go.
Dude, that's funny. My pick was actually, I thought about For Whom the Bell Tolls, 100% definitely crossed my mind. But my pick for it that I was thinking about was still Metallica, and it's The Thing That Should Not Be. I don't know if you know that song, but it's on
Oh,
Master of
ooh,
Puppets.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
That's
it's
a
got a
good
slow
one.
build too, but that riff when it kicks in,
Yeah,
the dun, 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 it's still slow but heavy, so it makes sense with the
yeah.
slow fight. And yeah, same thing with For Whom the Bell Tolls. But no, yeah,
Yeah.
good picks. But
Nice.
you got any other
Okay.
songs, or we could probably do
Yeah,
three?
yeah.
We could squeeze three in here each because we went
Okay.
pretty quick with our.
Okay. My next scene is gonna be a a whole switcheroo at the end of the film, sleepaway camp.
Fuck yeah.
When you go and you find out she's got a dong. What's your needle drop moment there?
Oh damn, that's I'm gonna go with a goofy one here, especially since it's
Yes.
like to end the movie. So it would play through the credits kind of.
Uh,
I'm gonna go with a goofy one, and I'm gonna go with Bad Touch by Bloodhound Gang.
hell yeah. I like it. I like it. That's a good one.
Just as she's standing there, like, oh my God, Angel's got a penis in here. Do 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 do.
It'd be
Sweat,
fun to
baby,
what's
sweat,
I don't know
baby.
the name of the band. What's that oldies song? It's like walk like a man,
Oh
talk
yeah,
like a that'd be a perfect song for that scene.
Pretty Woman.
Oh God.
I was thinking about Contology 101 by Lambrini Girls, but I was like, that's not what's down there. So I don't know
Yep.
if that
Yep.
fits, but no,
Hmm.
no, yeah, that was a good one too. Because I was like, I don't want to go. That's one of those things that if you go too serious with it, it can be mean. You know what I mean?
Oh
So,
yeah, 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 totally. Yeah. No, that's one that needs to have something fun and silly. And
yeah,
that's kind of that was like my whole thought about even this segment is just like a lot of these scenes are epic scenes that would be ruined with a needle drop. So to me, that's just funnier. Like, what if you had to pick a song, what would it be?
yeah.
So,
That's kind
anyways.
of like my next one, and this one's kind of a very iconic scene, and the score by Pino Donaggio is iconic as well. But I went with the Carrie prom scene. I wanted to know what you
Mm.
would do during the Carrie, just her slaughtering everybody.
Um, that's funny. I almost picked that one for you too.
Oh yeah,
Um, what would be a good one for that? Uh, I don't know. I mean, it'd be sick to do like Amel and the Sniffers
yeah,
for that or something. Just like some like super like good for her, like badass chick moment. Like maybe it's like Riot Girls, something like that kind of punk rock song. Um, hmm.
now doing it in me head would be a good one by Amon and the Sniffers for sure. It's upbeat, but
Yes.
it's slow enough, and because the
Yeah.
words doing in me head kind of like with
Mm,
the telekinetic connection makes it work. So
yeah. You know what? I would do, I'm gonna throw an extreme curveball and I'm gonna do the ultimate 90s toy made song for the 90s toy Crossfire. Do you remember that? And it's just
Uh-uh.
that's the song. You don't remember Crossfire?
Uh-uh.
Oh my gosh, this makes me feel really old. It was this toy. Or you know what Beyblades are?
Yeah.
This was kind of like a similar type game where you had like this little like you had this arena type thing and there was like a spinny top thing and you had these it shot marbles out, from these little gun triggers, but it had the most epically 80s 90s like hair metal song and it was just Crossfire. I don't know. I just think that would be hilarious for Carrie. So, anyways, as like the flames are erupting in the auditorium or in the where the prom is. So,
Right.
anyways, well, dang.
No, yeah. No, I went kind of literal with my thoughts on that one. I went Raining Blood by Slayer, but Fire by Jimi Hendrix would be a good one too.
Oh yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
But
See, this is why it's important that I pay attention to lyrics. This is where
right.
I struggle with this. I'm like, I know there's words in songs, but what is it? Um, yeah, no, that's a good one. That's
Yeah.
so funny because I definitely was thinking of doing that one too. Nice.
What's your final one?
Uh, so I had a couple, but I think, um, which one do I want to go with? What would be more fun? Let's go with They Live, and it's the infamous uh I'm all out of bubblegum scene. What's
Okay. Oh, yeah.
what are you gonna do there? What's the needle drop? He busts in and he's about to start blasting with his shotgun. What you got?
I was about to say I can't come up with an 8-minute song if you're talking about the fight. I was like, that would have
It's
been
such a long fight. That is
been
so
two
true.
songs.
It's the extended version of Freebird with
Yeah.
the extended solo.
Just pick a Dream
But
Theater song.
oh God. Yeah.
But no, the all True Bubblegum and Kick Ass would be a good one. I know Dr. Acula used it as a fucking sample. I'm not definitely
Oh
wouldn't be
my
that
gosh, I
song,
haven't
but
thought about that band in years.
yeah, definitely wouldn't use their song, but that's what
Yeah.
immediately comes to mind because of that sample. Uh True Bubblegum and Kick Ass. See, something like a big ass truck comes to mind, but like I wouldn't.
Honk honk.
It doesn't really, just that kind of like
Yeah,
breakdown with
yeah,
like a, because like you kind of think about it as like a breakdown type shit, but also I think about it as something like swelling behind them too. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yep. Uh yeah, that would be good. Or like I don't know. I feel like what's that band that E-Town Concrete
Yeah,
would be like a good band for a moment like that. Or honestly, it would just be
cannibals.
rad to have like a funk song, where it just like just gets real like funky right in that moment. I don't know. I like that. But
Right.
like George Carlton starts playing or something.
I'm gonna go with one that's popping up everywhere these days, and
Okay.
I think it'll work because it's heavy, but it's got upbeat moments and it's got slower moments. And that is I'm gonna go with Holiday by Turnstile because the way that's popping up in
Mm.
like I could see it being just like in the commercials how pretty much it starts with that dun dun now it's a dun, dun. Like that could
Like
be
a
like
Taco Bell commercial.
yeah, dude, like you just maybe I'm just feeling a crunch wrap right now, but I
Hell yeah.
fucking no, like that'd be a good one just because like it could kind of like have that like do
Mhm.
do 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 while he's like talking,
Yeah.
and then when he's done and like he could cock the gun along with the like do and then
Oh yeah.
oh
Freaking Fugazi. That would be
yeah
a great song. Waiting Room. Oh yeah.
oh yeah
I could hear that. So mm. Yeah, I like it. All right. Well, your last one. What's another scene you got?
could even go on with the classic one like Hey Man Nice Shot would have been good, but
Oh
by
yeah.
Filter, but
Oh,
or
what's
Mud
that? What's
Shovel.
that? Oh my gosh. I can't remember the name of the artist. It's like an oldies song, but it's like shotgun, shoot him before he run now. It's like a soul song. Like you don't know that song? Oh my God, dude, that's such a good. Uh, now that upsets me.
All I could think about was Long Legs singing when you said that. It sounds
Uh,
like a song Long Legs would
I'm not a
sing.
singer.
I know, I didn't mean it like I meant because it sounded like something he would sing.
that is a song by Junior Walker and the All Stars. You're telling me you're not the biggest Junior Walker and the All Stars fan?
I'm not familiar with his greatness, that's for sure. But
It's a great song. It's a perfect summer song. If you like soul music and stuff like that, it's awesome.
oh yeah.
So
Now I might have heard it before, at least at one point or another, but definitely not when it
I'm
rings
just
a
bad
bell.
at singing. It's okay. You can say it.
But my final scene is kind of a fun one. It's like I mentioned, I love montages and I love when they have great
Okay.
songs over it. This is a montage I feel like didn't have a great song over it because I don't even remember what played during it. And that
Mhm.
is the montage during Nope when they're getting ready to try to get the big shot at the end of the film and they're getting all their cameras together and setting up everything to get ready for. I think Purple People Eater plays like a version of that or something, but
It
uh,
does. You're right. That's a hard one. What would be a cool? Because a montage needs like an uplifting song
you
that
know.
like gives you hope. So, what would be? You made this one hard.
I
Let's
thought it was.
see.
I have like a really good pick for it, but do you want me to give you my pick just to kind of?
Yeah, tell me what you're thinking. What are you thinking? Set the mood.
I was going with "Bombs Over Baghdad" by Outkast,
That's a good one, actually. That would be super sick.
just because
Um,
it's upbeat, but it's like the upbeatness that I like in a montage song, but it still
mhm,
fits the hip hop vibe, like with the Jordan Peele films, and it sounds like something that like the characters would actually listen to. You know what I mean? Not just a song
mhm.
that's thrown into the movie that doesn't fit the rest of the
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Train Drops a Jupiter for my pick.
vibe.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one.
It's kind of fitting.
It is a little bit. Um, what would be good for that? There's got to be, something cooler. Um, I feel like a Bee Gees song would be really sick. Like Tragedy would be kind of cool or no, dude. Okay, a Styx song. It's got to be
Oh
Styx.
yeah.
Like, yeah, that would be epic as a montage or any Europe song. And now I'm just thinking of the entire movie Hot Rod because they use so many Europe songs. But I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with Styx. And uh I don't know. Now let's go back to the Bee Gees. Tragedy Stick. I love that song.
Renegade would be good by
Renegade would be
Sticks,
fun.
but
Yeah.
I think
I
I
feel
gotta,
like that's too obvious. I don't know.
you know,
But
dude,
so
Aliens Exist by Blink-182. That'd be a good one too.
ooh, yeah, that would be good. Yeah. Was there some other good alien songs that I can't think of? I
That's also
do
what led me to Outkast because I was thinking of AT Aliens, and so I was like,
uh
"What's a good Outkast song?" And I was like, "Bombs Over Baghdad." I was like, "It's upbeat."
Uh, I do love the song Flying Purple People Eater though. So I grew up like when it comes to music, I grew up listening to like oldies music because that was all my mom listened to in the car. So like I have all those like old like 50s, 60s songs just embedded in my brain, even if
Yeah,
I don't know who sung them. Like that Junior Walker and the All Stars song. So, but
hell
yeah.
yeah.
Well, sweet. No, that was fun. I liked all of those. That we made them better. We should be directors and composers. We should have the say. So,
Hey, I would
anyways.
love to work in a music department for a film. Like if it was the person like helping, even if it was like the director, even if I had to
Mhm,
work with directors like Edgar Wright, which shout out to all of his films. I know I didn't mention it,
mhm.
but like Last Night in Soho, there's a bunch of great needle drops.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
there are some good ones in that one. Yeah.
and that's another problem though, is there's films like that have five or six different needle drops that
Mhm.
all are great. So like none of them stand out enough to like pick one. So I was like, I could just go through the soundtrack at that point. So
Totally.
that's why I like certain things didn't make the list like that. But he's a certain director that like kind of comes up with the songs he wants on his own. But I would love to be the person that has to go through and like get it approved and find out where to get it approved by
Mhm.
who and who owns the rights to this. So that
Yeah.
would definitely be a fun job. I mean, of course, it'd be fun to compose the music too, as
Oh,
somebody that
yeah.
writes music and stuff. But I would also just love to hunt down the shit, So
Yeah, no, that'd be fun. It would be cool. I feel like I would just get my feelings hurt because I'd be like, it'd be cool if we use this song. And then they'd be like, that song's stupid, Steven. And I'd be like, okay, I'm sorry.
oh, I'd go on a fucking sales pitch with everything. You know what I mean? I'd be like, this is why it's
I
not.
did a survey and I got 500 signatures that say you're wrong.
See it, he's playing an A right here at this part of the song. You see that? That's an A. Well, our movie's called A Time to Kill. A, get it? A, and I'm start connecting it and just annoy them
uh,
with like conspiracies and stuff. Like
I
it's like
like
Kendrick Lamar. I was like,
it. Hell yeah.
no,
Nice.
but of course, for anybody listening, make sure you leave comments of what some of your favorite needle drops are, especially if we forgot them. And then
Mhm.
also, if you had some song suggestions for those scenes that we shouted out, I definitely would love to hear what some other people would come up with for our faux needle drops that we came up with. But
Yeah. Yeah. I liked it. No, that was fun. It made me think a little harder than I usually have to for when we do some of these episodes. So it was kind of cool to like analyze films that I love in a different light. So yeah, I appreciate the challenge.
oh yeah, and uh, it's and that's something that we'll try to do in the future too, is just come up with like these kind of little fun, like improv games at the end that deal with like whatever the topic is. But of course, sometimes the topic is so big that
Mhm.
we know we'll talk about it for such a long time that we won't really have the time for these at the end. But like this was like
Totally.
a perfect one that we knew we'd have some time at the end to play a little game and have fun with it. But
No doubt.
hell yeah. But of course, again, like I said, to those listening, leave a comment, but also subscribe, leave a rating, follow us wherever it's clever on the social medias and stuff like that. Steven, thank you again so much for joining me, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Just don't follow us home. Don't figure out where we live. Okay.
Right. We did talk a lot about the weather, so it's easy to pinpoint
Oh
now.
no.
At this point, it's
It's
the entire East Coast.
it is looking pretty snowy outside. I'll be curious what yours looks like.
Oh yeah,
I
I'll text
don't
you and let
think
you know.
I don't think we're gonna get a foot of snow. That seems crazy, but
It
whatever.
could really get going overnight because that's when it gets super cold. So if it's already snowing and then that freezing temperature hits, you never know. But
I kept joking with my friends like almost like it's Santa Claus is coming, but I invented this fictional character called the we were talking about how bad we are in our area for being prepared for the snow. Uh, and I came up with the instead of clam chowder, it's the clam plowder man. And it's a dude that dresses up like the killer from I Know What You Did Last Summer, and he just drives around in a like a boat car with a really rickety snowplow, and he throws cans of clam chowder at kids that are out playing in the snow while he's out cleaning out the yards. It's the clam plowder man. I don't know. It just seems like something from Ren and Stimpy,
yeah.
and most of my friends said it was a dumb idea, but I liked it. So maybe the clam plowder man will come tonight. Who knows?
They're like that conversation got me Brian acted, but other than that, it was pretty fun. It's like,
Yep.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, no, and it's up to you. I might edit some of this conversation, some of this out.
Fair enough.
No, I did just want to. The only reason I said that is because I was going to mention what next week's episode is. So I was going to say if you
Oh
want
yeah.
me to, uh,
Yeah.
but for next week's episode, I'll be joined by Little Bracket of Horrors host Derek as we chat about Green Room. So that was also kind of another reason for me choosing this, kind of to fit, Green
Mhm.
Room's kind of music based. I figured I'd just keep the music and horror thing kind of going, with this topic. So would
Yeah.
of course not going on the end of releases because this will come first, but the Green Room chat has already been recorded and stuff, so that'll be out next week for everybody. But and then we'll be back at it with whatever your choice is for the month of February.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah, I gotta figure that one out. Best horror mustaches. I don't know.
Oh, dude.
I'll there's some good ones. No, I'll come up with something. It'll be good. So
Tom Atkins, dude, it's already chosen. That one's locked in, dude. But no, hell yeah, that'd be a fun episode. Whatever you decide will be fun, even if we go back to doing a single movie, because we did a broader topic this
Mhm.
time. So regardless, works for me. But just let me know. I'm also down to do another topic because I'm doing those solo movies in between. So
Yeah.
fun
Okay.
for me either way. But just let me
Sounds
know.
good, dude. Yeah. All
Oh yeah,
right. Nice. Well, stay warm, stay safe, and I'll chat with you soon.